So today I've decided to come up with a series of videos about my outlook for different personality types. And I'm gonna start with, let's say, ENTJ, okay? So the reason why I started with that one was because, well, a lot has happened and I haven't uploaded in, I wouldn't say quite a while. I haven't uploaded in a long time, as you guys have probably imagined. So I have a really heartfelt gratitude and appreciation for those of you who have subscribed to me, or those of you who haven't unsubscribed to me during this whole time. I'm just really touched that over the years I've actually seen an increase of subscription rates, and I'm just really like it doesn't amount to like too many, but I'm doing this channel because I like it, not because I'm monetizing it or anything, even though it could be a possibility. But anyhow, okay, let's get on with, oh my gosh, why do I rant so much today? Okay, anyways, ENTJ. I broke up with an ENTJ. It was, I think, 3 years ago, and have gotten married during this interim. So ENTJs to me are very straightforward, very outspoken, very bold, daring, you name it. They're sort of like the Prince Charmings, actually, in a fairy tale series. There's a reason why they're called the commanders. I have never seen quite a person with such a charisma who can actually get people around him to listen to him naturally. It's as if he was born to be a leader. So that ex of mine actually worked in the Navy, and he had a very commanding sort of aura around him. It felt only, like I said, natural to heed to him. It doesn't matter whether it's an instruction, a command, a suggestion. It just felt very convincing and persuasive. Being an ENTJ, he's also very good at backing up his arguments with figures and numbers. But what I liked about ENTJs, as an INFP, it never occurred to me that I would get along with an ENTJ. It's just beyond my imagination. But I think I've been with him for 3 years, and ENTJs to me are really special in that they have that intuitive side to them. For some things that I might deem a little too out there for most people, he actually was able to accept and go along with me, just not for the sake of just going along with me because I was his girlfriend, but really contemplating the possibility that there is such a thing. And when I say such a thing, I mean things like fairy tales, astrology, just things to do with spirituality, even though their attention span is almost like that of a kid. So you can, like, I used to teach these really young kids, and they have an attention span of, say, like about 3 to 5 seconds. So it's very important to keep them, to keep ENTJs constantly engaged. Things have to be happening at a really rapid pace. They have no problem coming up with an argument or like bickering with others. I wouldn't call it bickering. I would call it bickering for other personality types, maybe. Sorry for those of you folks out there. But like, his is like a very solid argument that's just like firing away. I think that's like the best phrasal verb that I'm coming up with right now. Firing away. It's like a machine gun. It's just that if you want to start an argument with an ENTJ, you better be prepared, because they can stack up these arguments. Like, they can come up, they're really witty, and they have really quick reactions. They notice the smallest of things. So the first few times I went out with him, I noticed that he noticed the very details of things. It's like when we were sitting on a sofa, he would touch the sofa or the chair or the desk or whatever he has his hands on, and he'll be commenting about the texture of this thing, which is the first odd thing that I noticed, because for someone who works in the Army or in the Navy, I don't know, it just didn't strike me that something as trivial as the texture of a chair would matter so much to him. But then I figured that it wasn't just the texture of a chair, it was everything. So he was good at like analyzing things, Actually, the analyzing I can leave to ESTJs, which I'm going to talk about in a different episode. ENTJs don't miss a thing, so you can like go into a museum with him and he'd be able to point out some of the most interesting things that I would say you, but like INFPs don't generally notice because we were known to see the forest rather than the tree, right? And so you know how they talk about like grounding INFPs, how that's good for us? Yeah, I think it started from my journey with the ENTJ, although we broke up 3 years ago. They're very bold, outspoken. What have I missed? They're actually very childlike as well. So if you get close to them, actually I shouldn't say that. I should say they're very childlike with those whom he or she trusts. So I was privileged to see that side of him. But I can say that side of him quickly vanishes if he no longer sees you as one of his loved ones. So I don't think his friends would even see that side of him. It's so cute and so endearing, and I think that's like one of the things that I can still like have a smile about whenever I think of him, even though we broke up. It was cute. And sometimes when we had fights, he would often say something like, "You're seeing this side of me because I view you as someone whom I love." And so it's really hard to understand when you're in a relationship with someone like that, because it's just so cute to the extent where I cannot imagine him not being cute around other people, although I actually can. Do you know what I mean? Okay, that was pretty tongue-tying. And so like he'd be good at, he loved board games, and he loved, what's it called? Like escape room games, you know what I'm talking about? Sports, actually not so much because he was in the Navy, so he's been training so often already to the point where he doesn't really want to do extra sports in his alone time or in his like spare time. He has enough of that in the Army, in the Navy. One thing that really bothers me though about being in a relationship with ENTJs, which might just be bothering because it's out of my comfort zone, not bothering because it's bothering for anyone per se, is that because he has this aura about him, I think sometimes he is so self-centered, and that was the main reason why I broke up with him. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that he's self-centered in that he wasn't able to really care for people. Like, you wouldn't assume him to be in a nurturing position. You know, that's not his strength. It's not his forte, let's say. It's not that he doesn't care about me. It's just that he doesn't know how to be in that position. So what basically happened was that I broke my leg, and I figured that he became like the self-centeredness side of him sort of shone through during that episode, and I figured he probably wasn't good husband material. Okay, you can start firing away at me and like leave all the comments that you want, but that's why we broke up. So yeah, cute, bold. You want to have him on your side when you have an argument with someone. Actually, that's a plus. That's a big plus. It's not like us against the world kind of thing. It's just like you want to have someone on your side sometimes in life, like not just for games, like for everything. And you can be sure that you're going to win the argument if you have him on your side. So it's a very good combination for INFPs sometimes. But since I have started to consider like marriage and all, I think husband material calls for some other qualities. But maybe that has something to do with the maturity of the particular ENTJ that I'm talking about in question here. What else? Because of the qualities that I mentioned above already, I think it's also especially sweet when he takes him into his circle, especially into his inner circle. So this is directed to those of you who are considering or are already in a relationship with ENTJs. It's not just enduring, but you felt really protected. INFPs can often be portrayed as the damsel in distress. I'm not going to comment much on that. We can be, and sometimes we can enjoy that position, I guess, because first of all, because of it's not that we're playing that role, it's just that we naturally emit that sort of aura. It's sort of like ENTJs emit that aura of being a commander. Everyone have their own auras. So I'm not going to comment much on that. I would also love to see ENTJs' views on us. Once we have very intimate relationships with ENTJs, you will start to see that there are so many sides of him. Not saying that he's a chameleon. I'm saying you sometimes see him as like an older brother, sometimes a younger brother, sometimes your soulmate, sometimes it can be your friend, sometimes you can be so playful as a playmate, sometimes a husband, not so much, but sorry. There are just so many sides of him. It's really cute sometimes. That word keeps popping up, so you get the gist of it. I think ENTJs might sometimes view INFPs as like a guide or a mentor, even though he seems to be the dominating one. For outsiders, that seemed to be the case, but INFPs tend to lead ENTJs. It's really strange because I've seen him cry once. Which doesn't happen much for ENTJs, I know. And I know that that's a very important moment for me to step in and sort of like, I'm sort of playing the part of the strength there, and I was like counseling him on stuff. But yeah, that was the only time he cried. And I guess that played a very important part in our relationship as well. Like he can start to see me as someone who has these soft and inner strengths. So I'm kind of rambling here. I might make another episode, but I think 14 minutes will do for this time. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm going to move on to probably say ENFJ or ESTJ next. You can comment below on which one you want to hear next, okay? That's all for today. Bye.